Hey guys, welcome back to another video of mine. I hope you're doing well, and if you're new here, my name is Laura. Today is going to be a new video that you may have not seen anything the same on my channel, and it is just going to be a story time about my experience staying in an Airbnb in Amsterdam for the very first time. It was my very first time staying in an Airbnb, and it has terrified me. I don't feel like I want to stay at another Airbnb ever. But we are staying at one in February time. We're going to Mallorca, and therefore I really hope it's going to be different because the one we stayed at now, it was horrendous. And continue watching if you want to find out more. So I'll go straight into the video and let you know of my experience. So we got a lift to the apartment by our taxi driver, and we got there at the sort of in the centre quite early in the morning. I believe it was sort of 10 o'clock or something like that, and we contacted the lady who was in charge of the apartment just to find out if we were able to pop in sooner, just to leave our bags so we can just sort of start exploring the city rather than carrying luggages around with us. She did respond that she's unable to sort of do that, and we're unable to do that as there were people staying at the apartment until 11, and she needs to sort of clear out the apartment and clean it before it is ready for us. The check-in time was half past 2. So anyway, we were happy with that. We just walked around the city close nearby, had some food, and before you know it, it was 2:30. So we went to the apartment. We were close to the apartment because I knew roughly that it was near a coffee shop called Apex or something like that. So it was close to that location, and it was next door, I believe, but we didn't know exactly where it was. The number of the apartment was 169, which we were looking at, but when we called her, we could not get through to her. We knocked on the doors, we could not get through, and we started to get quite worried actually, because obviously we didn't know which apartment it wasn't very clear, and she wasn't answering. In the end, we did get in touch with her and managed to find the apartment, which was just around the corner of where we were standing anyway. But that day it was raining horrendously. It was absolutely awful, and we were getting soaked. Our clothes were getting soaked, our shoes and the coats were getting soaked, and also the luggages were getting soaked as well. So it wasn't very pleasant to stand there waiting for her to answer and get through to her just to find out where we need to go exactly. In the end, we could see her at the top on the 3rd floor, waving her hand to say that this is where it is. And so we walked into a shop. Hear me out now. Into a shop, and on the left-hand side, there was just like a really small corner shop, and it was selling just like sort of the things you would use for grinders and for weed, and there were Rizzlers for cigarettes, for all like the smoking utensils that you would need. So you'd have to go through that shop and up the stairs. And when you get the stairs were really narrow. You could not fit anything through. If you had a bigger sort of a check-in bag rather than a cabin bag, you would not be able to get through, so you'd probably have to leave it downstairs. I don't know. It was just so narrow, you could not get through, and you kind of the stairs were very steep as well, so it was just very awkward to go up and down them. So you'd go through up to the first set of stairs, and there would be like an empty sort of abandoned office. You'd go around again up the stairs, and the same thing again, with like a kitchen area, and around again, and there would be our apartment. So we went through the doors, and the first thing we see is just like a pile of dirty towels, dirty duvets, just like a pile of clothes and washing that you would get if you emptied your basket onto the floor. That's the first thing we would see right in front of our feet, and she was standing there as well. So she told us to come in and she greeted us and everything else, and she was quite nice, and sort of explained to us and of how everything worked. And she was just sort of tidying around, running around the apartment, get everything ready, which I found quite strange because obviously we didn't ask to come in early, we gave her plenty of time, we weren't there, we wasn't bugging her to come into the apartment early. We gave her plenty of time until half two, the check-in time, just to get everything ready, but we were sitting there on the sofa, waiting for her to finish cleaning the bathroom, waiting for her to finish and getting all her stuff ready, and you're just sitting there and you don't know what to say. We weren't even talking. I wasn't talking to my boyfriend. I was just sitting there, just staring into space, and I just didn't know what to do. Anyway, in the end, like after half an hour, she left. And this is when we started looking at the apartment and just looking around and everything. And the first thing that we noticed is the glass that we went through was completely see-through. So you would be able to, when standing up this top of the stairs, you would be able to see our whole apartment, our whole kitchen, the bathroom. If you had the doors open and you were on the toilet, you could easily see that. If you're sitting on the sofa, if you're having your breakfast, you could literally see the whole apartment, as it was just glass door, glass door, glass door. So it was just, yeah, it was really, really weird, and especially how the downstairs area was not locked. So if someone walked up to the shop, they could literally just walk straight up the stairs. And so that was the first weird thing. We walked sort of as you would usually do if you sort of in a new hotel, in a new hotel room or in a new apartment. You literally walk around everywhere just to see how it is. And we went into the bathroom and it was awful. It was so dirty. There was hair all over the sink, hair all over the toilets, and dust everywhere. The toilet was quite mucky, and it just didn't seem clean. The mirror, it was not cleaned as well. It was quite like patchy in places. The bathroom, it was like the shower area. There was hair all over the walls, lime scale everywhere, mold, sort of cobwebs and everything. It was just really unclean. It's just, I think the main thing that bugged me was how unhygienic it was, considering how much time she had. It was like, we gave her 3 hours to clean out the place, and she was not able to clean the place. It just, I don't know, it was just really weird. We then went upstairs. It was like little loft stairs, so it was smaller than the entrance ones. It was really small, and you'd literally have to walk up with your hands in order to sort of stay with yourself just to get up the stairs. And there would be 2 single beds, and the floor in the whole apartment, either upstairs or downstairs, it was, rather than straight, it was on a wonk. So if you laid on the bed and you had the windows open, you literally felt like you were going to fly out the window. It was that bad. The duvets were all wrinkled, and they had like they just weren't clean. You could see like dirt, and the flooring was disgusting. It had marks and dirt, and there was sort of left loose like cigarettes on the floor, like the fags and everything. And I was constantly wearing socks, sleeping with socks, walking around with socks. I just could not walk barefoot. As soon as I had a shower, I'd put my socks on straight away. Downstairs as well, in the sink, there were not even clean glasses. It was just there in the sink. The floor as well, there were like leftover Pringles on the floor in corners and under the curtains. There were loose cigarettes as well on the curtains, underneath the curtains. and the table as well, the little dining table area was so unclean. Just like the whole place was so unhygienic, and I think that's the main thing that bugged me, rather than sort of how small it was. And it was really difficult. And yeah, considering we paid for the apartment, we paid £260, which I would not say it was. We had paid £260, which was more expensive than just a standard hotel in the area. A standard hotel was £230, and we paid that little extra, as we thought it would be a bit more convenient to sort of have breakfast at the apartment and maybe lunch or dinner, rather than sort of spending time in a restaurant. But we were really let down by the hygiene of the apartment and how dirty it was. The floors were crooked, and you literally, if you put the suitcase on the floor, it would just roll down. That's how bad it was. It wasn't even a little bit. It wasn't even. It was bad. I can't. I'm not exaggerating. It was bad. And yeah, we did not sleep well. We could not sleep in the second floor where the actual beds were. So in the end, we might end up going downstairs and sleeping on the sofa, which turned out to be like a sofa bed. So we ended up sleeping there, but it got so bad where we sort of were ending up buying a hotel. We wanted to buy a hotel to stay the rest of the 2 nights in Amsterdam, as we just could not take the apartment. It was getting really bad. But it's not a week. If it was a week, I would have 100% went somewhere else, but because it was only a couple of days and it was like a city break, so we weren't relying on the apartment. As long as there's a place to stay, sleep, that's all that mattered. But I just wanted to make you guys aware to be careful, especially in them kind of situations where it was my first time, and I did read all the reviews, and the reviews were really good, and that's what shocked me the most. And the apartment was in a very good location. It was literally around the corner from Dam Square, so it was in a good location, and we were able to get to everything by foot. There was absolutely no issues, but it was just disappointing for the amount that we paid and what we got. We did contact Booking.com. That's where we brought the apartment from, just to sort of complain about it and see what we are able to do. We did contact them during our stay just to see if they're able to sort of move us to a hotel, but we haven't received a response from them as of yet, so we are still waiting of that. But yeah, it was very difficult, and I'm quite scared for my it let me down, especially when it was the first ever time in an Airbnb. It definitely let me down, and I'm quite scared to go on another Airbnb experience, but I will be going to Mallorca, Palma de Mallorca, in February time, so hopefully that will be better. But I'll definitely let you guys know of how it is, and if you do have any further questions, please do let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this little story time. I hope it wasn't too boring, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.